Pretty cool, right? I'm like the only political YouTuber doing this.
Not anymore, fat boy! Take a look around. You can see me or the screen, or just look around the place and see what's there. Anyway, let's get to the video.
Eternal Cringe Lord says, we don't even have capitalism, we have crony capitalism. That's the only kind there is.
And this is one of those times where I wonder if Nick Fuentes was born stupid or if he went to school for it.
Privatized profits and socialized losses. Shut the fuck up. What are you, just reading from a meme page or something?
No, that's how economists actually refer to it. Maybe if you'd actually read any economics, you'd avoid looking like such a complete cabbage brain. As I and many others have pointed out repeatedly, capitalism is about both profit and loss. You need the profit to incentivize them to produce, and the prospect of loss to disincentivize them from taking unnecessary risk. Lose either part of the equation, and you get serious problems.
We need to call out corporate welfare and subsidies, and any politician takes corporate money. You first.
What does that even mean? He just did call it out. By the way, I don't actually know who it is he's referring to, since the full video for this was taken off of YouTube when the channel was terminated. But it doesn't matter. Fuentes is still an idiot, and he couldn't possibly make it any clearer than he does in this video.
Cringe. Man, I love what we need to do this. In other words, I'm asking you to do this.
So you don't even know basic grammar.
I do that. We do talk about crony capitalism, but crony capitalism is capitalism.
No, it is not! And that's why you don't really call it out. You love your holy government and hate the idea of a system built entirely on voluntary interactions. But you can't actually criticize that because you're an ignorant gasbag, so you have to conflate it with crony capitalism, which isn't capitalism at all, but corporatism, a form of fascism. It's exactly what he's in favor of, but he can't admit it, so he has to lie and say that's what capitalism is.
There is no system where private citizens can amass large quantities of capital and not influence the government.
Well, how about, for one example, an anarchist system where there is no government? How can you influence a government that doesn't exist? This is just more of the bogus conflation with money and power. Money is not power. And not only does money not give you power over the government, the way it generally works is government ends up oppressing people with money to make them do what they want, not the other way around. I'm linking again to the article, How Hatch Forced Microsoft to Play K-Street's Game. Microsoft was staying out of politics until Hatch and his cronies bullied them into it. It's the same with Amazon. They were staying out of politics until the tax referred to as the Amazon tax forced them to get involved. Facebook, Twitter, Google, all of the big tech companies stayed out of politics for the most part. If you want to know how it got to be such a horrendous situation, it was not because they started influencing the government, but the other way around. And it's continuing with politicians threatening to end Section 230, the application of centuries-old common law conduit protections to the internet that's keeping them in line.
The two are synonymous. It's a distinction without a difference.
I like how using force versus not using force is a distinction without a difference. Tells us everything we need to know about self-righteous psychopaths like Fuentes.
People say that all the time. They say, well, we don't really have a free market. We don't really have capitalism.
Because we don't. Don't believe me? Just try creating your own business sometime. Especially one that competes with corporations favored by politicians.
You know, it's highly socialized or it's crony. It's like that's all capitalism can be.
That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Capitalism is about the power of the individual. Socialism is about the collective. They're mutually exclusive.
In any society where people are accumulating wealth, high concentrations of wealth,
as I've shown repeatedly, that happens with less economic freedom, not more.
Show me the society. What is the mechanism that those people will not be able to influence their government? It doesn't make any sense.
Again, how about when there isn't a government to influence?
That is necessarily the consequence of capitalism.
Bold assertion with nothing to back it up. It's just the fact that you can't deal with capitalism as it really is, so you have to lie and pretend it's something else.
It wasn't real capitalism. It's like when people say it's not real communism.
No, because capitalism has a specific definition. I'm going to link to my video on that again. Watch that and you'll see how easy it is to get the information that proves this moron to be so completely, utterly, and pathetically wrong. Fuentes could have learned this in 10 minutes with any number of economic sources on the matter. If he doesn't know this, it's only because he doesn't want to know it. Alright, enough of this crap. So what do you think of this format? Is it a good way of doing it? Is it cool? Or is it just a gimmick? Let me know in the comments, and either way, please hit like, subscribe, and the bell, and make sure these videos can keep coming by donating and even becoming a subscriber. And make sure my videos get spread around to get past the YouTube shadow bans. See you next time!